Alrighty, everybody. We have Honey Kaur and head coach Tammi Reiss. Before we get started, head coach Tammi Reiss has moved up the all-time win list. She is now second all-time with 107 career wins. Coach, opening statement on the win.
First, I'm really proud of our second half. Obviously, today's a very, very emotional day for numerous reasons. First and foremost, it's Play for K. So I know people sitting in this room, cancer has affected, your lives one way or another. So it's emotional in the respect of why we're playing this game today and who you're playing for. And then secondly, senior day is always a really, really tough, emotional day. It should be a celebration, and it is, but it's also sad to culminate careers with people you love so much. And so that first half, I think, really, we were tight, we were emotional, we had no flow, and then came in halftime, regrouped, and then really came out and executed both offensively and defensively. And so just really, really proud of the squad in the second half. And then just want to say a few words. I couldn't be prouder to call myself Honey, Sophie, and Awa's coach. Today we played for them, and what they've brought to our program. Honey only 1 year, but Awa and Sophie P brought us a championship. They stayed with us for 4 years. I hope Awa comes back. She still has another year, but that's my why. It's why I coach. I coach to coach kids for 4 years. Not for one, not to go in the portal, not to grab somebody else, but to watch them not only grow as players and students, but as young women. And I could not be any prouder of those three. And I said this to the interviewer after the game, that I take any one of them and all of them and call them my daughters. And if I had a daughter, that's exactly who I'd want them to emulate. And that's why I'm so proud of all three of them.
Questions?
Honey, obviously, congratulations on senior day. Great day for you. 23 points, 6 rebounds, and 13 points in the third quarter. You didn't miss a shot. Just talk about just what this whole day has been for you. Obviously, your family came out for the senior day festivities, but to be able to put on such a show on your senior day, just what was that like?
I think a lot of people don't know that this is my first time parents coming in America. And so it was their first time kind of like watching me in my element, because they couldn't come in San Diego. So it was really special to me, but I didn't let that pressure, because I have coaches on my team, and I didn't let that pressure come to me, and I just wanted to let the game come to me like she always told me. And I think the whole credit is to my team, and they find me well and they time it, and I think I wouldn't be anything without them. But having my parents and just kind of like celebrating after every shot, and having these coaches jumping for you and celebrating for you, it's like coming in full circle. And this is everything a player would dream of. Coaches like this, team like this, and having parents in your stands watching you.
And that third quarter in particular, obviously you're coming out of halftime only up 4. You want to really set the tone and create some distance. And I mean, you did just that. You went 3 for 3 from the field, 4 for 4 from the line. Just from your perspective as a team, what went well in the third quarter to see the distance and that lead grow?
I think the talk we have in the halftime, like we gotta keep going, and we gotta put the paddle on the metal, right? That's how you say it. Sorry. But I think we kept that composure, and we kept that poise, and we kept going, and that's what we do, and that's something we kind of struggled in the last game, and that was our goal, to kind of come out with that energy in the third quarter and keep that going in the fourth quarter. So I think as a team and coaches, we had a really good talk, and we kind of went back in discipline and focus, and that was something that made a difference.
Coach, can you walk us through what you told them more specifically during halftime and what adjustments you made? And also, are there any plans to buy hot dogs and soda for the media as well next time, like you did for the students?
Hey guys, there's plenty of vouchers left for the hot dog. Go get yourself a voucher. It's on me, all right? It's on me. No, the halftime speech was, listen, our first 2 quarters, we were completely undisciplined. Everything was forced, and we had 2 assists. So when you look at a sheet, and that's not like us, you have 2 assists, it tells me, people are trying to go off the bounce, they're not sharing the ball. We took really bad shots offensively. Defense wasn't horrendous, but we had no offensive flow. So when we came in at halftime, we had to calm them down, take a deep breath, refocus. It was focus and discipline. we've got to get back to sharing the basketball, knowing who you are and what you do within the offense. And we didn't do that in the first half. Again, senior day, you get amped, you really want to put on a show. And I thought coming out of halftime, boy, before I looked up at the scoreboard, I was like, my God, it's 13 points already. We jumped on them like that. So they really took to heart what we did. They calmed down, shared the ball. We ended up with, I think, 10 assists in the second half. And the shots we got were excellent. They were great layups, or they were wide open threes. And now you're taking, we have a Richter scale. A 1 is a terrible shot. A 10 is the best you can get. Really, we don't think there is a 10, but most of the shots in the second half were a 6 and above, meaning uncontested, wide open jumpers or layups created by your teammates. And so that's what we focused on at halftime, really fixing that. Second thing, defensively, we put the press on them. So we kind of got them out of rhythm. We threw the 55 on, made someone else bring the ball up, and suddenly their rhythm was kind of taken off, out of whack. And so I thought we did a good job defensively with our full court pressure as well.
Coach, this is your 6th season in Kingston, your 6th senior day. Has been, obviously you talked about just how emotionally charged this game is and how it can impact what goes on the court. Has it gotten any easier to prepare for a day like this, both tactically, obviously getting the team ready to get the game going, but also just to combat the emotions of what is this very special day?
You hit it on the head. There's 2 components to it. The tactical component of, the logistics. When I go shopping, we all get them gifts, we decorate, we do all these special things for them, and how you prep and the timing sheets change, and you get used to that, but you'll never get used to the emotions. And if you coach and it's not transactional, it's transformational, you'll never get used to that. It's like sending your kid off the first time to college. Is all 4 kids, you can say, oh, I should be used to it, but you're not. And so if you have any kind of heart and care about your players, you'll never get used to that. And you don't. I always say I'm not going to cry, and then one of them gets me. And then today it was Sophie P and her mom got me. So you always say that, but that's the hardest part, is controlling your emotions when you love somebody. So the tactical part's easy. It's the emotional part that drives you crazy. And us women, we're just emotional to begin with.
Coach, you've talked at length a number of times about how you don't give away minutes. You don't empty your bench just because you're winning. I wonder how rewarding it is for you to see almost everyone score when you're able to showcase your depth like that.
As a coach, you love that. You want kids, when they go in and they earn their time, but they go in and they execute. They get it done. That you're happy for kids. And I tell them all the time, every minute counts. Don't think, oh, I'm only going in for 2 minutes at the end of the game. Every minute counts. It counts for me evaluating for the next game. It counts for you to get game experience. So when you go in, it doesn't matter if you go in for 45 seconds or, 4 minutes. You want to make the most as a player and do really, really well and execute. So today I thought when Albina got in, Katie offensively, Ayana, when they got in, they had some really nice moments offensively. We're still going to have to talk about defense a little bit, but offensively, they did a really nice job. I was happy with everyone who went in the game.
Coach, there was a couple play stretch where Inez and Sophia really started to click with each other. That pass down low where Sophia threaded the needle to Inez, and then Inez kicked it out to Sophia for the last second 3. What is it like to really get those 2 back together, with DeBras starting to get more extended minutes after the injury? How does it feel to really have those 2 back with each other?
That's a lineup that we can press with. It's a lineup that we really run with. We get out. And when we run our ball screen continuity, you got 2 point guards coming off ball screens that can really pass. And so it gives us a jolt. I don't know if you've noticed it, but when they play together, it's fast and furious. And they love to play that way. And they play really well together. That was the group that gave us that big lead. When we got them in and we started pressing and we started running. And again, we're a much better team when we play in transition. So it's really nice to watch those 2, play with each other and get out in the open floor and make things happen. So I'm really glad. First, I prayed to God every day that Inez could make it back. We were hoping it wasn't her knee, it was something else. So it's really nice to see her gradually get back to full health and full strength. So it's nice when you got 2 generals on the floor. that like to play fast and furious.
Coach, beyond just the emotions of senior day and everything that you spoke about, also just a game like today, how tough is it to almost not look ahead? Because obviously a couple of tough games against St. Joseph's and UMass coming up, and the spot you guys are trying to compete for that double bye. How tough is it just to keep focus on both the events of today and just the game today, and making sure you took care of business like you did?
Well, it's not difficult for us at all. And she'll tell you, we prep one game at a time. We don't ever talk about the future and then we'll recap after this game. Before St. Joe, we'll recap this game. We put it to bed. We learn from our mistakes. Next game up. We never talk about that big picture right now, because with this team, they're one game at a time, and they have to be. And as a coaching staff, that's how I am anyway. I don't really like looking ahead and who's next and where are we in the standings. This team needs all hands on deck for the game we're in and what we have to do to be successful. And then after we put this game to bed, it's next man up, next game up, we're good. But it's not difficult at all. And the team does a great job of locking in of where we are. We're not that type of team, and I'm not that type of coach. So for me, it's easy. In fact, half our kids didn't even know who we played next. They thought St. Joe's was away sometime next week. When you asked them, I'm like, guys, no, St. Joe's is a home game. Oh, yeah. So again, they know what we've got right in front of us. And with this team, the way we are, we have to be that way.
Any other questions for Coach or Honey? All right, thank you very much.
Hot dogs on me. Go get your voucher.
I'm gonna beat all of you for that.
All right, thanks everyone.